Good evening. This is, as usual, your humble host, Emmanuel. We bring you today a trending issue precisely involving the family of the president of Nigeria, the first family. Um, yeah, so it started with the allegation that the wife of the president, Mrs. Aisha Muhammad, did not return from the Lesser Hajj in Mecca. Rather, she proceeded to the United Kingdom and has been in London for at least 2 months and counting. Then the rumor that one of the appointed ministers, cabinet member of the current government under Alhaji Buhari, is filling in the space of the First Lady. She started by representing her in some of the functions she ought to be doing to assist her husband, the president. And from there, we just had the rumor that this minister, Miss Farouk, was going to wed the president on the 11th. And the next day, all of a sudden, the woman that has been in London, Aisha Mohammed, makes a quick, apparently unannounced return to Asarok. But that was just to begin the drama that is currently trending, and that is the fact that she was locked out of her home. And this government has been one of the most secretive in recent history of Nigeria. At first, they are shrouded in secrecy. Sometimes the president jets out of the country and spends months and does not feel obliged to address the nation. Sometimes we are told that he has a right not to tell us, not minding that he travels with our money and our flight logistics. So the president cannot make private trips with public facilities and does not see the need to address the people. So this is, for me, a mark of executive rascality and arrogance, which is commonplace in this government, by the way. But that's exactly, by the way, that's not what we're discussing tonight. We're just sounding you out on what is actually happening. Did the marriage with this new lady, the cabinet minister, take place, and what was it all about? The current first lady is one of the prettiest and youngest, one of the youngest first ladies in Africa. I don't know why the husband will go and marry another wife, although if you look at the woman in question, she's also as pretty as the current wife. So probably there's this thing about beautiful fair-skinned ladies that the president apparently is not powerful enough to resist. But the question is, why now? Is it because of the vocal stance of the woman to condemn things that she sees that are apparently inconsistent with the electoral promises of her husband? She has accused this government of being seized by a cabal who had nothing to do with the campaign philosophy or the political philosophy of her husband, but they're now the ones calling the shot, almost even ruling the president. So this woman has been speaking out. Apparently nobody's listening to her. She has used body language. She has spoken directly, challenging Nigerian men. In her words, are there no men in Nigeria to take over your country? What else can the First Lady say to the country that is stronger than to call people to oppose and take over the government of her husband? But nobody's paying attention, and then suddenly she leaves the home for months, ostensibly to protest the situation in the government. You will see in this video the wife of the president saying enough is enough. And you want to ask, what is that thing that is enough? Don't forget also that a group of young agitators are saying that the actual person in Nasser Rock is not the person that everybody knows as Muhammad Buhari. So could it be what she says is enough? The keeping of secrecy. But, we're not in a position yet to ascertain that. The rumor is all over the place, but nobody has taken the pains to prove it in a way of probably asking the president to do a DNA test or come out with the truth. But be that as it may, the other issues that bother the government have been issues that Mrs. Aisha Gogo Buhari has been criticizing, not liking the way things are going. We are told that she's not in the good books of the cabal who have more or less kidnapped her husband and ruling, using him as proxy. So she comes back, taking everybody by storm, apparently to protest against the alleged marriage plan that was to be executed on the 11th. And then she gets locked out. Most of what she said in protest were spoken in their native language, Fulani or Hausa language, as you will see in a second or two. Do you know what those words mean? Can you make comment here and tell us, interpret to us the other things that she spoke in vernacular? But others are clear. She said enough is enough. She said we are guided by 200 policemen. Can you imagine that? And 200 soldiers. That's the extent we waste the resources of law enforcement agents. If 200 policemen are guiding only one family, probably two families, and 200 soldiers, you can see how cheap we have reduced the law enforcement service value. But our focus tonight is, why was the wife of the president locked out? This is a woman who, for the first 4 years of her husband's first regime, she didn't see the need to be called the First Lady. Actually, the former president, Goodluck Jonathan's wife, did a lot of things with that office. When Aisha came on board, when they took over government, she kind of undermined that office and said that she wasn't going to be called the First Lady rather the wife of the president. Suddenly, there was a rumor that the husband is no more and has been impersonated. That the allegation of a separatist group in Nigeria called the IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra, calling for the president to disprove the allegation by doing a DNA test. And then, as it was not dramatic enough, the woman who would not be called the first lady now comes out publicly to denounce and say, from today, I don't want to be called the wife of the president, call me the first lady. So this has heightened the speculation. If her husband was still alive, why the heck do you want to change what you initially rejected? So watch this video, make your comment. What do you see from it? Did the marriage hold or not? Was the first lady being locked out of her home in Asorok? And what are the other things she spoke in vernacular that some of us who are not from that extraction cannot make out? Interpret it to us here on this channel and let us have a full view of what has happened. The clip is amateurish. Probably it was done in a panicky way, not to appear apparent. So you are not going to see the faces of the dramatic personnel, but you will obviously be able to make sense from what is going on. You see her luggages still unpacked, and you see her protesting, enough is enough. So why is she being locked out? Tell us if you know. Otherwise, we'll continue to investigate and probe to know why the first lady of the country is being locked out of her home. Is it because she speaks out what she doesn't like, or it's a tactical way to ease her out and bring in somebody who will do the bidding without complaining? Another question I may like to ask is, when did this romance start? Was it part of the reason she was appointed minister? Why should the president go for an appointee working in his ministry? Could it be construed as inconsistent with his office demands? Is it conflict of interest? Was the romance there before? Because you don't just jump into marriage. There must have been a history. So a lot of things beg answers. If you have any of these answers, do the public who view this channel a favor, dissolve some of these mysteries. The Asorok has one too many secrets. This is time to start to unravel the secret life of the Asorok, the capital, the seat of Nigerian government. So make your comment, and before we meet again in the next video, please subscribe, follow us, and know that God loves you and so do we. Peace out.